Got a
Good
lot of stuff in the
evening,
background.
ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Hot Tag Podcast. It's me, Shake. Along with me, as always, is my co-host, Teddy. We got some interesting things to talk about this week. A little pieces of WWE news, wrestling news throughout the world. Teddy went to an indie show this week, so that's all the things we're going to be talking about today. It's going to be a little bit more chill, laid back of an episode. Still going to be a really good one. As always, if you're watching now, if you're watching the VOD back on Twitch, make sure you hit that follow button. Hey, subscribe, free Twitch Prime subs. I'm not going to hate you for it. If you're watching the VOD over on YouTube, make sure you like and subscribe, all that good stuff. We appreciate you guys so much. Again, this is the Hot Tag Podcast. Teddy, my man, how we doing?
I'm here today, Shake. That's all I can say is I'm here. I'm ready to shake, rattle, and roll.
Yes, sir. Yeah, let's just hop right into it. So let's start where we left off. Okay, Monday Night Raw. Pretty good show. It's been going up since I was there, and I think you also had a semi disappointing time at Monday Night Raw. So we have that in common. And it seems like after we both went, the show picked up. So hey, that's the Hot Tag Podcast bump. Okay, we go to the show, then after that, boom, they pick it up. That's all it is. That's what I can say about that.
Because I'm not ashamed to say it. I'm a Ken, male version of a Karen. After the show, I waited out back, and I said, when I seen Hunter come out, I said, come here. I just sat through 3 hours of horse shit, Hunter. Clean it up. God damn it. Brought my nephew to the damn show, and all of a sudden now I'm just like, I almost fell asleep. I had to buy food at the concession stand, expensive ass food, just to keep me awake. Clean your shit up. And then he did. No, it is what it is. Hey.
Listen, somebody has to be the one to crack down and be the bad guy, and Teddy doesn't mind being that guy at all. But no, this week on Monday Night Raw really was good. We got two really good triple threat matches that are both not equally as talk worthy. I thought the first match was a little more textbook between Asuka, Rhea Ripley, and Bayley. But before that, we got a little segment between Bayley and Becky, and I'm loving that back and forth. Becky's doing she's the man again, right? She's that character again. She's that bitch. She's the one that can win whenever she chooses because that's who she is. And she's calling the shots right now. And Bayley and her are having a really nice back and forth. And I forgot to bring this up last week because we got talking about something else. But she mentioned something I was going to mention a week ago, so she stole it from me. Becky and Bayley is the only main roster 4 horsewomen rivalry we haven't gotten yet. It's the only one.
Bayley and Charlotte had a rivalry?
Yeah. It might have been
in the next.
No, main roster.
They had a main roster rivalry?
Yeah. It might have been like Thunderdome era. It wasn't long.
No, it definitely wasn't Thunderdome era.
I don't know. That's what Bayley said. She said
Becky said that on television. Oh, that's what Bayley said on television?
Yeah.
Oh, she said it on television. I believe her.
Yeah. Well, anyway, they're the last two of the 4 horsewomen to have a rivalry. So.
Yeah. All that says to me is that that's how good that feud was. That no one remembers it.
Yeah. And you know what? I don't want to get too sidetracked on Charlotte Flair because I think she might come back at the Rumble, but
I do.
I was thinking about last night, like how bad that storyline for her and Ronda was. Ronda wins the Royal Rumble to get a screw job finish and lose at WrestleMania. That was so weird. And then Charlotte gets injured. And that's out of their control. I understand, but like afterwards, it looks so weird.
I was happy with her winning at WrestleMania. I was cheering. I was team Charlotte all the way. I like to call her the Dream Crusher because she just keeps winning at WrestleMania when she should lose, and I'm okay with it. I'm here for it. But I didn't like the finish. She big booted Ronda for
That
a
was it.
finish.
It was
What?
it was it was a haluva kick. Actually, is more what it was.
It was a terrible one. Like like golly, if you punted her, I'd be like, oh, all right, she punted her. But Jesus, you haluva kicked her. Not even a good one.
No, yeah,
And,
it
so
was weird. Yeah,
But
but yeah.
yeah,
Anyway, back to where we're at. Bailey and Becky were going at it. We're definitely going to get that. But also on Becky's way out, whoo that stare down between her and Rhea. Oh my God. I was like, whoo. I felt that. Like, there's not that many times where I'm like, oh my God. But that was like, I was like, whoo. Because Becky was talking, said a couple words, and Rhea just stared at her. And I'm like, I'm very intrigued in that matchup. Rhea wants the smoke from everybody. And, like, imagine if China had this type of female roster around her at the time. Oh, my God. But, yeah, that's another sidetrack. But, yeah, then it went into that triple threat match with Bailey, Asuka, and Rhea, which Bailey ended up winning, which guarantees her a spot in a match, in a number one contenders match for Bianca's title at the Royal Rumble. So that was the first match. What's your take on that match or that whole beginning of the show? I thought it was really good.
I didn't see it. I didn't. I wasn't. I was at class that night, so I didn't see it. And I caught the highlights, and I was happy with the way it went down. I'm glad that Rhea wasn't involved in the finish.
Yep.
And she took herself out of the match. Not someone took her out of the match. She took herself out of the match, and then Bailey got the win. And then at one point, I was like, "Oh, poor Asuka." But then you sent me something, and it looks like we're going to get a new version of Asuka, and so that should be very interesting. So good for Asuka. We're going to build her back up. But yeah, I'm cool with it. Cool with it. Who won on the other side of the triple threats?
That's the end of the show, and I'm going to get there. But
okay.
To go back to Asuka, not only did I text you about it, I said this on the show that I wanted her to become the.
You did. I didn't know if it was on the show or not, but it was like I remember you saying that, and I was like,
yeah. There you go.
I was like, oh wow! I literally when you texted me that, I was like, oh, Shake was just talking about this. I was like, kudos. I know.
It's the genius that is Shake. It is the genius that is me. I saw this coming a mile away. I've been really hoping that like Asuka would get a character turn because I've always been a big Asuka guy. I've been a huge fan. But lately she's not been getting the respect I feel she deserves, and that's because mostly her character. And don't get me wrong, I love her character now. Her as a babyface is fun. The segment she cut with the Street Profits almost a year ago now is still one of my favorites ever. It was so funny. But yeah, I love Asuka, but it seems like she's taken like a very dark heel turn. She's got this new like crazy clown makeup that is reference to a character she had when she was in Japan, which is similar to the Great Muta, like a demon-esque kind of like psycho killer kind of thing. And it's going to be very interesting to see that Asuka play out. And I don't want to get ahead of myself. I'm not going to bury the lead, but something interesting happened in the triple threat later on that, like, it kind of sows some weird seams and ties everywhere. But let's move on with Monday Night Raw before I get too far ahead of myself, because that does happen.
That does happen.
It's just like, you know, Alexa's doing her thing and Asuka's getting a little funky, and it's just things are interesting right now, to say the very least.
They are very interesting.
Oh, definitely. It was a very action-packed Monday Night Raw, to be honest. And then the next thing that happened was Seth Rollins came out, cut a little promo. Bobby Lashley interrupted, basically getting pissed at Seth for costing him the United States Championship. And Seth Rollins was like, hey, man, I gave you Theory on a silver platter and you couldn't do it. He's like, yeah, but no, you fucked with me too. Like, and then it dissolved into a brawl. Seems like
I
Theory's.
was really happy with that brawl style. I'm sorry to cut you off. It popped in my. I was really happy with that brawl because it showed how dominant Bobby was. Like Bobby was like effing him up, but then it showed how like tenacious Seth Rollins was, and he was like, "I don't give a shit. I'm in your face. Like you can beat me to a pulp, but I'm still in your face." And he's like, "I'm gonna get my shots in." It was like a lopsided fight, but the other dude was no fucking slouch. It was like I don't know the best way to put it. Was like, yeah, okay, it's what you expect, Bobby, to just manhandle him. But it was like, yo, this small dude just won't stop. He keeps coming. He doesn't give a shit. He's just here, and he's getting some good hits in. I thought the way they executed it made each individual look strong as hell. It made Bobby look like a goddamn monster. And it made Seth look like a savage. Like it made Seth look like, yo, I'm not here to be pushed around. I don't care how much bigger, how much better you are than me. I'm not here to be pushed around. And I thought they did it great. Kudos to those guys.
I agree. I thought it went down really, really well. I think it was great character development for Bobby and Seth because now we're seeing Seth take a more serious turn where before he was like the Joker-esque character where like just watching the world burn and picking fights where he felt like it because he was bored kind of a deal. Now he's like, no, I have a problem with this guy. I'm gonna be in his face and I'm gonna beat him. And I'm about championships. I'm about gold. And Bobby Lashley and him right now are the are two of the people in the number one contender spot for that United States Championship. And that's another theme we talk about every week now, seemingly, that the United States Championship is just keep getting bumped up every week. Now you have two of the best to ever do it in Bobby Lashley and Seth Rollins feuding over the United States Championship that neither one of them have, by the way. They're fighting for a chance to get it. That's something.
Yes. We're having number one contenders matches for the U.S. title.
Yes.
And it's ever since Triple H has come back, that title has been gaining more and more prestige from the moment he had that first match with Bobby and Tommaso Ciampa to now. It's just like, even like now that we put it back on Theory's got a whole new twist on him. And he's Theory's going to become that guy that we're like, oh, I don't like this guy. This guy's a bad dude. Like, Theory's no slouch anymore. He's like, I'm not this kid anymore. Like, like if we're gonna fight, we're gonna fight.
Yeah.
Like I'm not gonna weasel around or anything. We're gonna fight. I like it. I love to see it. He said, this is just great. This is great character development and arc building for all of this. And like, it won't get to the road to WrestleMania down the line, but it's just like, what are we gonna do with that US title at WrestleMania? Because there's no doubt in my mind that title is going to be on the show this year. We went from last year where the U.S. title and the Intercontinental title were not on the pay-per-view, and now we are in a spot where there's no doubt in my mind that both titles will be featured prominently in huge blockbuster matches.
I agree. I think it's going to be either a great way to start the show or a middle of the show kind of pick everybody back up kind of deal. But it's going to be something very serious at this WrestleMania for both the United States and Intercontinental Championships that have been dogged in the past. Let's not pretend like it hasn't.
Yeah.
And the road to WrestleMania just keeps getting crazier, like you mentioned. And you also mentioned the current reigning United States champion, Austin Theory, who had a match right after the segment with Bobby Lashley and Seth Rollins, and he was against Mustafa Ali, who is a contender for the United States Championship, but is not getting the push. He gets dog shit on by literally everybody. Theory was putting a whipping on him the whole time, but Theory gets the win, but it wasn't a conventional win because unbeknownst to anybody, even backstage is what I'm hearing, Dolph Ziggler shows up and costs Mustafa Ali his opportunity to win the United States Championship and attacks Theory. But, Theory does end up getting in A-Town Down on Ziggler, so.
Wait a second. Dolph Ziggler wasn't supposed to interfere?
No, it was planned, but nobody backstage it wasn't told to everybody that he was gonna do that.
Okay.
So it was like a surprise to a lot of people.
All right. Yeah. Yeah, Mustafa Ali. I mean, he's got a rough gig right now, but hey, the guy's on television.
Yeah, no, good. It's good for him.
Yeah.
You know,
I think
he
he'll eventually make his way back up. I mean, look at Ricochet. He's turning his career around. They're talking about this guy actually being a contender for Gunther, which we'll get there. We'll get there because Gunther had said something to him that just made me laugh, and I was like, he's not wrong.
yeah, I'll let you take the lead on SmackDown because, like you, I watched some of it, but I mostly just read about what happened and saw some highlights. So you can definitely take the lead on Friday Night SmackDown. You being the SmackDown guy, me being the Raw guy. No innuendo intended. But so interesting little
That's
thing.
just how it takes place.
Yeah, no, it is. So interesting little thing. Baron Corbin is again trying to be forced down our throat and be relevant by upper management of WWE because they really like this guy. JBL had a poker tournament, APA style, and it led to some interesting matches throughout the night. The first one of which was the OC versus the Alpha Academy and Baron Corbin. The OC picked up the dub, which was good to see. Watching them, there was a little shoosh and nerd off between Gallows and and Chad Gable, which was funny. But yeah, it was great. Next on the bout because of
Hold on.
What?
Well, I'll just comment on that. On your comment about them throwing Baron Corbin down our throat. Now, you've never liked him, and I thought he was okay, but I just don't understand what they did. Like, he got in a limousine, went with JBL, and came back the same goddamn person.
Yeah.
And just now he's JBL's manager. When I call him the wrestling guy, like, I'd have loved if he came back and was acting like JBL. Like, I just don't like he came back as the same person. He's the same person before he left. Like, nothing changed. What did he do? Like, we don't even know what happened. All it appears that he came back with a new outfit. That's it.
That's it.
It looks like we're led to believe that JBL took him shopping. Didn't even do some ring training with him. We just think JBL took him shopping. So I just don't get that. It makes no sense to me. The new wrestling god, the modern day wrestling god. You couldn't lace JBL's shoes right now, Baron Corbin.
Listen, I don't get it, and I don't even want to say some people. I don't know anybody that cares about Baron Corbin. The only reaction that's been coming out of this entire thing has been towards JBL. Nobody cares about Baron Corbin at all.
No.
Like, JBL's been funny. JBL's been an asshole. Baron Corbin has been winning, but he has not changed at all. He still doesn't have a personality, and it's not like JBL is a Paul Heyman that's pushing him towards title shots and stuff. He's literally just being a buddy, and they're hanging out, and it's maybe supposed to be a modern day APA, but it's really not that at all. But it's horrible. It's awful.
Yeah.
I like seeing JBL on TV again. I think he's the right kind of abrasive. He toes the line very well. It's just Baron Corbin. I don't care about him at all.
No. So I care about him. I can't express how much I don't care about him. So let's just move on. That's how much I don't care about him.
Yeah, and stemming from the JBL poker tournament, Dominic Mysterio and Akira Tozawa had a match because Akira Tozawa accused Dominic Mysterio of cheating. I believe is what it was.
There was no accusing. He did it. He called him out on
it. yeah. So then they had a match and Dominic won. That's another one. I think Akira Tozawa is also a point in his career where he's just happy he's on TV. So who cares?
Yes, he should be.
He's a jobber. Fine. He's funny. He's funny. When he jumped, Okay, so that was something that happened in Albany that was really funny, right? So Baron Corbin had a match. Akira Tozawa runs out of the back and jumps in JBL's arms and steals his hat and runs away. And JBL chases him, and that was really funny. But like other than that, like that's all you can really look for from Akira Tozawa. But now coming to the
hold on 1 second. Um, Zach and I were talking about Dominic Mysterio, and we're like, he looks like a fan who they picked out of the crowd and like put in a wrestling ring. Like he's overall just he's better at it. Like his in ring is better, the way he talks is better, his whole mystique is better. But him, just look like the kid needs to hit the gym or something. Like he looks like there's like I'm not here to body shame. No. Um, you know, but just about all body styles are accepted in wrestling, except that one that he has. The very skinny. We have skinny wrestlers who are very skinny and go out there and wrestle. There's like I just don't. We have very fat wrestlers. But golly, I don't know what you are, Dominic Mysterio. I don't know what that body style is.
Well, like we see skinny guys, right? But they have muscle, right? Kofi Kingston is a skinny guy, but he's toned and he's muscular, right? Dominic Mysterio is like, oh God, I'm not gonna say that because that's really mean. But you're right. He needs to go to the gym. He needs to just start lifting weights. And I don't know if that's a part of his current routine. Like he's not fat, obviously. He's in shape, like, but he's not lifting. He's not putting on muscle. He doesn't. You're right. He doesn't look good. And for a guy his size to have to wear a shirt, come on, come on.
Yeah, he would. Oh Lord, he just.
We're not saying he has to have a six-pack and fucking hit the juice and be shredded. He needs to build some chest muscles and fucking hit some curls and some tricep extensions. Fucking start bulking, eat some chicken and some rice.
He looks like a high schooler. He looks like a high schooler.
Yes, he does.
Like I don't. There's no way to around it. He looks like a high schooler. He has no arms, muscles on his arm. He has no chest, and he has no ass. He just looks like a.
It's bad. It's like all types of bad. But before we get in trouble for body shaming, let's move on to the main event, which is something you asked about earlier. It's the other triple threat, which is between Alexa Bliss, Becky Lynch, and Nikki Cross. Very interesting match. You had a little mix-up between Nikki and Alexa going back to their history, which was interesting. What was super interesting, though, the most interesting, was Alexa Bliss trying to hit two Sister Abigails.
How's that work?
What do you mean?
I don't think you could do that.
What do you mean? No, I don't mean with two separate times she tried to do it.
Oh, I thought you meant like two at the same time. I was like, how would you do that? I guess you could do that.
I mean, it'd be weird.
Yeah.
That's not the point. She's trying to hit the Sister Abigail again. So the ties between her and Bray are getting even stronger. And that's very interesting. And what makes it more interesting, Alexa Bliss won the match. So now it's her and Bayley in a number one contenders match for Bianca Belair at the Royal Rumble. Now, I think Bayley's going to win next week. But still, like, Alexa now being in this position, like, I don't know what's going to happen. And then
I actually hope Alexa wins because I don't want to see Bayley lose again.
Well, that's the thing, right? It's like, why are we going to do that? And I don't know.
Like, there's no need for her to lose again.
And if Alexa loses, it sends her off the deep end right back to Bray.
It's not a bad idea, yeah. I think Alexa should win.
Or what if Alexa wins on Monday, goes to the Rumble, and Bayley costs Alexa the title? Because Bayley thinks she should be in the match, and that's what makes Alexa snap. Because her opportunity was stolen from her. She didn't lose, it was stolen from her. I don't know, just throwing it out there.
I think it'd be better if she just lost and then she snapped because, she lost. I don't know. I don't think, no offense to Alexa, but she's not in a position right now where she needs like somebody should be costing her a win against Bianca Belair. Bianca Belair just win.
Yeah, I
We
don't
haven't
know.
seen anything impressive from Alexa Bliss.
I don't know. It seems like they're kind of, I don't know. But Becky didn't. Who got pinned? I don't remember. Hit Nikki Cross with a Twisted Bliss. So, um, yeah. So that's how it ended. So now it's gonna be Alexa versus Bailey. I thought Raw overall was really good. I think we're trending upwards. I think the long-term storytelling is really, really going to be interesting going into the Royal Rumble because that's just going to set us up for the road to WrestleMania. And with this 2 months in between the Rumble, it kind of feels like the road to WrestleMania starts right now, doesn't it? To you, I don't know. Like that's how I
It
feel.
does. It does. What are we at here?
We got like a month and a half. Well, yeah, almost 2 full months.
Yeah. We got a month and a half.
Yeah, till the Royal Rumble.
It's a long time to build. Do we still only have one entrance in the Royal Rumble so far?
I think it's just Kofi. Yeah, I didn't see anything else this week. Yeah. But I don't know. I'm also not a fan of like them announcing so many people beforehand. I like it to be more of a surprise.
I do too, but I just laughed because like you had Kofi say I'm the number one entrance. Like he goes, I am the first person to enter, and then we hear nothing else.
And everyone's like, "Yeah, great. It's a month and a half away, buddy. What do you?"
Yeah,
They definitely
exactly.
made it seem like the ball was going to start rolling on that more, but I don't know. There's other more important stories to tell right now, anyway.
So, all right, so we're gonna roll into SmackDown.
Yes, sir. Go ahead, take the reins, my man, to Friday nights.
We know there's a NXT pay per view going right now too, right?
Deadline, yeah.
It's currently running. So Friday night SmackDown. There's a number of things that happened on Friday night.
Yeah, look, a pretty good show from what I saw. We had a debut I wasn't expecting.
Who?
Tease that for later.
Yes, we did. He's back, but I think, and you know what? I wanted to touch on that too because he's back. But it seems like, and they hinted at a possible rivalry, which I think will be a WrestleMania match. Actually,
I can't wait to talk about that.
Let's get it. It's been a rough week, but I do know what happened. So we started off with the Usos versus Sheamus and Butch. Pretty good match we had going on right there. The Usos beat Sheamus and Butch like we expected them to.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that match? Did you watch it?
I did see that one. I thought it was pretty good. I liked that Solo and Ridge were getting into it. Sammy's
I like his spinning solo over the barricade.
It looked really, really good. I don't know why I skipped over this, but I forgot to mention it on Monday. Really quick,
What?
You mentioned Solo Sikoa.
Oh yeah! How did you? That's like
I know.
Riddle's your guy. How did you forget that?
He took Riddle out for 6 weeks with an homage to his uncle Umaga, and I texted Teddy. I watched it and I got emotional, not because Riddle is out for 6 weeks. Like whatever. I don't think he's really hurt. I honestly think he's got some personal stuff he's got to take care of, and that's why he's got 6 weeks off. But after that's how the show started, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm. From what I've heard.
Yeah, so I completely skipped that. KO and Riddle had a match against the Usos for the Tag Team Championship. That's also another first the Usos did. That was the first time the tag titles have ever been defended twice in a 7-day period. So
that's right.
Which is another nice accolade for the Usos. Not one that will ever be remembered, but just something nice to mention. But yeah, so at the end of the match, obviously KO and Riddle lost. Whatever, it was more of a KO and the Bloodline build.
Oh, did you see the Usos are ranked as IPWGs or
one.
somebody, whatever?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, there goes that overrated team Shake's always talking about as number one.
Shit. Listen, that's because that's recency bias. Whatever, fine. But and I said the reason people would put them number one is because of this tag reign and this run, which whatever I disagree with, but fine. So
well, it's the number one team of the year, not in history.
Year? Oh yeah. I mean, RK Bro was top 10, and I'm okay with that, so we're good. They were 6 or 7, something like that.
Yeah.
But anyway, Solo Sikoa hit the Samoan spike on Riddle, and then proceeded to do Umaga's charge to the ring corner. Unfortunately for Riddle, there was a chair in his face when he did it. Riddle was taken out on a stretcher, and he's out for 6 weeks. But yeah, no, I thought the interference from Solo was nice, continuing to be that brutal enforcer, that like mindless killer kind of attitude that just does his damage and leaves and doesn't seem to be affected by much. I think it's a really nice touch to the bloodline. Again, the Usos right now are untouchable. They got the dub like they should. They hit the 1D, which I think is a really I've always loved that move. I think every week Butch looks a little better. And I was worried about how he was going to stack up against these bigger guys, but he's making it work. He's never going to get a major run, but I think he's doing a nice job. And Sheamus looked great.
I think he'll have a solid secondary belt run. I think he'll have a great one. He'll probably end up with a U.S. title or an intercontinental title down the line and hold that and have a good run with that. I think he'll have a couple good runs with that. I'd be surprised if he didn't. Because don't forget, he has the second longest
NXT
UK title run. Yeah, behind Gunther. So yeah. So after that, we had that match. We rolled into LA Knight called out Bray Wyatt with a cool segment. I think each week LA Knight is just killing it. This feud is doing nothing but bringing great publicity to him and Bray. I thought that was a funny segment. He's like, look at this. What's in the background over here? Here, another one of Bray Wyatt's toys. And he's like, so it's like, I think he's hilarious. He's absolutely hilarious. I'm starting to get a little stir crazy. Like, yo, when are we gonna see Bray wrestle? When are we gonna see Uncle Howdy? I don't even need to see him wrestle. I want to see Uncle Howdy. Like, when are we gonna see it? So I'm starting to get a little stir crazy with that.
I mean, I think that's part of the build, right? It's like you want. I think if we'd seen him in a match now, it wouldn't be the same. I think he's the type of character where we can't see him wrestle that often. He's the modern day Undertaker at this point. And that's what when the lights went out and LA Knight got, I was like, this is the modern day Undertaker.
I mean, but we do need to see him wrestle. We haven't seen him wrestle in
I understand that, but how often did the Undertaker wrestle?
A lot up until 2012.
A lot?
He did.
Till 2012.
He wrestled.
What was 2012?
He wrestled a lot. I mean, he would take time. So when he was on camera and he wasn't taking time off, he was wrestling like weekly. At least once every 2 weeks, he was wrestling. Remember, Taker was you're gonna go 1-on-1 with the Undertaker.
Yeah, but I thought that was like a few years before that. I thought by like 2012, 13, he was just like only doing wrestling big shows.
No, at 2012, 2013, no. He started to slow down in about 20.
Fine, whatever.
11 or 2012.
Down, that's where Bray Wyatt is right now.
Yeah. But it's been 2 years, Shake.
Okay, but been he wasn't here for that long. I understand what you're saying, but you can't, he's only been back since Extreme Rules.
We're probably not going to see him wrestle to WrestleMania.
I disagree. I think we might see him wrestle at the Rumble. We have a month and a half to build to that.
That's true. Maybe we'll see him. Yeah, you're right. We'll probably see him at the Rumble because he's not gonna wrestle LA Knight at WrestleMania.
No, hell no. He'll have a match at WrestleMania, but it's going to be bigger than that. I
I
think
would
we'll
love to
get
see
that.
him and Karrion Kross at WrestleMania.
That'd be interesting.
That'd be interesting. That talk about the promos we'll see between those two.
I don't know.
I'm here for it.
Kross guy right now.
I think it would do wonders for Kross. A loss to Bray would do wonders for Kross.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, you're not feeling it. I get it.
Yeah, I'm not. But yeah, I'm here for the LA Knight. All here for LA Knight Bray Wyatt. I think this whole thing is great. I think they're building it really well, and I think the fact that you are getting stir crazy, like I am too. Like I'm just kind of like, oh, when's it finally gonna happen? But like Bray is being less subtle every week.
Yeah, I want to see more of Uncle Howdy, like at least more Uncle Howdy promos. Like I love
we got
seeing
one
those.
2 weeks ago. We just didn't get one this week.
I don't think we got one last week either.
That would be 2 weeks ago. That's what I meant.
Yeah, you actually cut. I didn't hear what you said. To be honest with you, I heard something about a week ago or something.
No, I said 2 weeks ago, so not like this past Friday, but the week before that.
Okay. So we go right into a Viking Raiders versus Del Fantasma, which Hit Row interfered in that match, which I liked. I like that whole little segment. I like what we got going on between these three tag teams. It's interesting. I hope they take this and they let Hit Row run as heels because that'd be the smart thing to do.
I agree.
You need to book this group as heels. They'd be easily hated as heels. I think that's where their stride will come as their heels.
And that's the thing. The Viking Raiders are as well, and I like the way they're going. It's going to be interesting to see how that goes. The tag team division seems to be like everybody else, and then the Usos right now. It's weird. It's like
it is because you have the Usos are just like as they're making their claim for the best tag team of all time, and so you just got a bunch of you got the best of all time just floating around with a bunch of not the best ever. A bunch of tag teams that are nowhere near close to the top of the list.
A bunch of very forgettable tag teams.
Pretty much, yes. And you have one other tag team in this division that's just, their claim they're like number 2, but they're done. They're like, they're pretty much walking around saying we got one last good run in us, and it's not now. We're gonna save it for another time. Is what I feel like we're doing with the New Day.
Well, the New Day is actually might go after the NXT tag titles.
Yeah, I heard that too. And also, I forgot we do have the Street Profits, but they could be one of the greats of all time. But you're just not. And it's hard. I get it. You have, it. The way I like to put it is like, Peyton Manning when he's around. It's very hard for Peyton Manning, Tom Brady. I like to think Peyton Manning's the best of all time, but numbers don't lie, and just it's very hard for Peyton Manning to make that claim when he's just under Tom Brady. So it's like he'll probably get a lot of people will say Tom Brady, Peyton Manning's the third best of all time, but he may have gone down he may have been able to pass and be number 2 if he wasn't always losing to Tom Brady.
Yeah, it's really tough when you have that someone above you. And the New Day were on top of the Usos for a long time. It wasn't until recently that they really took over in this whole bloodline thing. But with the Street Profits, yes, they're phenomenal, and I think they can be one of the great tag teams. But again, we have this like impossible wall of the bloodline right now. Once the bloodline kind of fizzles out and they decide to break that up, after that, that's going to be very telling for the future of the Street Profits, because if they don't at that point grab hold and take the reins, that's telling me that they're not really going to step into that spotlight. Because in my mind, after the Usos, they're next.
Well, here's the thing, though. They're not, because of this lightning in a bottle we have with Sami Zayn right now. We're going to have this. Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens are going to take the titles off of them. And then we're going to have to wait. So, like, The Street Profits' time is not coming for another 6 months.
Well, I wasn't thinking till after Mania anyway.
Well, that's what like I didn't even mean to say 6 months. I mean like they're not those titles aren't coming off the New Day until Mania. Maybe Elimination Chamber, but most likely Mania. And then Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens are gonna hold the titles for at least a couple of months.
Right, and that's fine, but that's Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens are not going to take over the tag division. They're not a legitimate long-term tag team. What I'm saying is the Street Profits are that team that after that whole bullshit is done, after all the bloodline shit, they are the ones that are going to take over, and if they don't, they're fucked.
I agree. They have to. They have to because like this is their chance to make their claim. What are they? They're 2-time champions. Yeah. You know, most people don't even realize they're 2-time, and like now they'll become 3-time.
Yeah, and you know they definitely deserve it. The fans love them. Montez was out for a while, and that really kind of halted some momentum they had going. They were starting to build like a mid-card run, which I think is really important as far as long-term longevity. If you can make a mid-card run really good and really entertaining, that's only going to build your title run. And I think eventually they will get that title run. But like you said, it's going to be a while.
So next we had Ricochet doing a contract signing with Gunther. I thought this was just entertaining because Ricochet was doing his, normal, because I will never give up, da da da. And Gunther just looked at him and was like, listen, I took the title off. And what happened then is what's going to happen now. I am going to beat you very badly. And I was like, yo, like, he's not wrong. He's going to beat your ass. And I hope he does. Like, I love watching Gunther just piss pound people. I would pay money over and over and over again to watch Gunther piss pound people. And, like, I hope he does just piss pound Ricochet. Ricochet's going to put on a better fight, but I just want to see Gunther just piss pound this dude. So then it was funny because then New Day come out to support Ricochet, and then all of a sudden tempers are rising, and then Adam Pearce is like, all right, well, can I get some crew to get these tables and chairs out of here because we know what happens next. And then Gunther just picks up the table and throws it out, and he's like, oh, all right.
Okay,
and then
thanks.
And so then they had a 6-man tag. Ludwig Kivich got pinned by Ricochet, and that was that. And then we had some backstage segments with Kurt's birthday. Jason Jordan gave Kurt a picture. We're still holding on to the Jason Jordan as Kurt Angle's son's gimmick, which is hilarious. We're still acknowledging that. And then what else happened? Oh, Chad Gable tried to get in. They couldn't get in. They weren't on the list. Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins showed up, and they were just being funny as normal. Got into the party, pretty funny. Then who was there with Kurt was Gable Stevenson, and then I thought that was like, oh wow, so we're acknowledging. And then there was a backstage segment Gable Stevenson, Kurt Angle, and Braun Strowman. And Braun Strowman was like, hey, I hear you're at the training center. When are you going to get up here? When are you going to get up here and get these hands? And so he was like, well, when I get here, you'll be the first person I'll run into. And so it was like, is this going to be a WrestleMania match? I'm telling you right now, I hope this is the WrestleMania match because I don't want to see Gunther and Braun Strowman. So I don't care if it's Gabe Stevenson and Braun Strowman. I think it'd be cool. I think it'd be great because I think Gabe Stevenson coming and beating Braun at WrestleMania would be a really big thing and solidify him as a big star. But we'll get more to that in a second. But what do you think? What are your thoughts on everything I just mentioned so far about the whole Kurt Angle segments backstage?
I love Kurt Angle. I thought when he came back on Raw a month or two ago, whenever that was, it was great. And this was even better. It was celebrating Kurt Angle. It was his hometown. And it was great to see Gable Steveson there. It was awesome. That's how you pronounce it, Steveson. It's not Stevenson. It's weird. I don't know why it's Steveson. Gable Steveson. Weird. Just Steveson. I don't. What? Anyway, Gable Steveson. I think it's very Very interesting that him and Braun Strowman got into it backstage. And I got to be honest, Braun Strowman's got a lot to say about a lot of people. But you know what, Braun? You have one world title reign. Shut the fuck up. You just said you were the one to beat Roman. No, you're not. Shut the fuck up. Roman would find a way to beat your ass too. Don't know how, but he would. He beat fucking Brock Lesnar. He could beat your ass. Okay? Settle down. Okay? You're not that guy. You're not him. You're not him. You come in and you lose to Ricochet. Oh, and then you want to say you're the one who beats Roman, yeah? Is this what we're doing? You lose to Ricochet in the World Cup. Oh, no, that was nothing. I can beat Roman, though. Him in the blood, that's fine. Because it's only the Intercontinental title. And I'm honestly a little afraid of Gunther, so I lost on purpose. I'm sick of Braun Strowman. I was kind of excited for him to come back. I praised him when he came back. Fuck him. I'm done. I'm done with Braun Strowman already. Give me that match at WrestleMania, like you said. I want Gable to beat the hell out of Braun Strowman. I'm sick of him. I'm tired of him. It seems like he's causing friction backstage again, being an arrogant asshole, and it's just not going great again.
Tell us how you really feel.
I did.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I see. Jeez. Woo, woo. Yeah, he did lose the Ricochet. I forgot about that.
Yeah, I did.
All right, so moving on. What else do we have on this? Let me look at my handy dandy notes here. My handy dandy notepad.
I think the last one
was Liv.
Oh yes, yeah.
Liv Morgan, Tegan Knox versus Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler.
Random.
I didn't watch that match. I don't know how it ended.
I think Liv Morgan and Tegan Knox won.
Yeah. All right, well, we'll move on from that. They did win. We'll move on from that. Kurt Angle's birthday celebration. We went out to the ring. We had the milk truck again. Pretty cool segment, like the old days. Then they sang off air. They sang "Happy Birthday" to Kurt in the ring.
Nice.
Which is pretty cool. They did everybody was in the ring. Ray initiated a singing "Happy Birthday." Also backstage, I forgot we had this was Karrion Kross and Scarlett came to visit Rey Mysterio in the doctor's office. I don't know why he was back there. He was just in the doctor's office, I think. I don't know if he had a match or something. I don't know what happened.
No, it's probably because of the thing where he had a boot on his leg and then Dominic attacked him, and he was probably to do with that.
Gotcha. So yeah, Kross was back there. Yeah, isn't him? So it's interesting. That's all that happened on SmackDown. Seemed like a decent show. Next week, John Cena will be on. Oh no, is it next week or is it the week after?
It's the last
SmackDown of the year.
December 30th.
Yep. John Cena will be on SmackDown, and maybe he's going to make his claim for the Royal Rumble. I don't know. He's coming back for some reason.
Yeah, it's interesting. Speaking of John Cena, there's been some news that he may be filming at the time of WrestleMania 39, and he may not be able to appear at WrestleMania 39. And there's speculation that this push now is going to replace that, and then they're going to do something else for him later on.
Huh. Oh, you know how I feel.
Listen, I think the only other thing that would make sense would be him in Theory at Mania. I would. Okay, so here's a shot in the dark that probably won't happen. But as I was talking about Theory in John Cena, if it were to happen, Cena versus Theory, I would love to see it with the U.S. title on the line and have Cena put Theory over. I think that's what I would like to see happen, considering all the history Cena has had with the U.S. title. I think that would be a really big move for Theory and push him in the right direction. Again, there's no speculation of that happening. That's just something I thought of that I thought would be cool.
Hey, I'm here for it.
Yeah.
I could care two shits. I'm here for it. Yeah, so I think talking road to WrestleMania, things are sizing up great. I mean, there's a lot of signs, showing that we'll get a Ronda Rousey, Becky Lynch match at WrestleMania, and the speculation is that will headline night one if Roman doesn't headline both nights. If Roman doesn't do both nights, that will headline both nights. That will headline night one if he doesn't do both. But there's word that backstage that we're going to get a Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns, and a Cody Rhodes versus. And so me and Zach were talking about it this weekend on our way to the indie show. And I think it would be huge. So this is, I think, the way they should do it. Cody, it should be Roman Rock night one. Roman Rock night one, and then Roman should beat The Rock, and then Cody should beat Roman night two. You know what that would? So one, if Roman wins both matches, it doesn't really matter. It is what it is. But it would, no matter what, Roman leaves this weekend being a legend. He is solidifying his career if he main events both spots. Even if he loses, I think the loss doesn't. The win solidifies him as like just the greatest of all time. If he loses, it sets him up to be liked forever because eventually we're gonna get into that territory where Roman is just like unbeatable. We get bored of him.
Yeah.
If he loses, it protects him from us from getting bored of him. If he wins, just kind of solidifies him as just a savage, like just absolute monster. But also, if he does beat The Rock and then Cody beats him the next night, do you know what that does to build Cody as a star? It is absolutely massive. And then Cody could turn around the next year and put over someone at 40 or whatever it may be, or doesn't, or he just goes, or he keeps winning. Who knows? Whatever he wants to do.
WrestleMania 40, WrestleMania Sunday. Cody Rhodes versus Seth Rollins for the WWE Championship. Whew.
Yeah. Hey, that could be it. Yeah. But here, let me finish my night one. The way I would like to for Roman to beat The Rock night one.
Yeah.
And so that we go home happy. The Roman and the Usos and Solo just start putting a beating on Rock, just beating on him. Glass shatters, Stone Cold runs down. The Rock and Stone Cold clean house, beer bash, send us home crying night one because we're just so fantastic. Send us home crying night one.
If you got Stone Cold saving The Rock against the Bloodline, that would possibly be one of the greatest WrestleMania moments of all time. I don't think that's an understatement either.
No, my heart feels all warm and fuzzy inside just thinking about it. Like literally, I'm just like it's just like it's just joy. Like that's all I can relate to it is joy. The Rock, Stone Cold holds The Rock's hand up. They walk out together. They have a beer bash. They joke around. They entertain the crowd for a while, and then they leave. TV goes off with them, cheers and a beer, and then they entertain us for another 10 minutes, and then they go out. And then night two ends with Cody, the confetti and everything, him holding up the titles. Shake. Tell me there's a better way to book it. Tell me there's a better way to book WrestleMania ending. Tell me. Give me one. Tell me I don't think there is a better way to book it.
I don't think there is, and I think the prospects of the first ever Hunter Mania just get better and better.
Yeah.
Because it's interesting. Vince was great on capitalizing on moments, but I think something he lacked was long-term storytelling. Did he hit on a few really good ones? Of course, but I think we're seeing more long-term developing stories under Triple H than we had in a long time with Vince McMahon. Like a long time. Like the commitment, I don't know, I can't pin down when it changed. But you know as well as I do that Vince became about week to week, show to show, month to month, and did not care all that much about an overarching story as long as the event the next month or, whatever sold.
Yeah.
We're invested. Even in these minor pay-per-views, we're invested in stories every month. When was the last time that happened?
I couldn't tell you.
Yeah.
And there's so many possible matches for WrestleMania. You're just like, we used to have no idea what was going to happen. we would just cry and hope that it was something good. Now it's just like, geez, any route you go. I mean, there's Rhea. You could do Rhea. You could literally do Rhea and Bianca, and you're just like, oh. Or you could do Rhea and Dominic versus Edge and Beth, and you're just still like, oh, okay. Like, I mean, like, that's not as good as Rhea, but I mean, like, would you be upset with Rhea and Dominic versus Edge and Beth?
We were at a point where we were hoping to not get fucked over every WrestleMania. And now we're sitting here like kids in a candy store. Like, what do I want? What is this? Oh, look at that and that.
Yeah,
and then
exactly. We're like, I told you about Braun Strowman in a Gable Stevenson match. Yeah, Gable Stevenson match, and I'm like, oh, all right. And then there's like on the people talking about a possible Gunther and Sheamus. I mean Gunther and Drew McIntyre match. You know, that one would probably just be my most anticipated match. Talk about the chops. Talk about the chops. That would be the biggest match in the Intercontinental. And then it's like, like on the back internal card, there's literally talks of a goddamn, we don't know what we're doing with the U.S. title, but you just know it's going to be something good.
Yeah.
Like, and then there's possibilities of Money in the Bank being back on the show. Money in the Bank could be on the show. And like, if we don't get Money in the Bank, I guarantee if we don't get Money in the Bank, we get a ladder match for the U.S. title.
Or Intercontinental.
I don't know. I think unless Gunther would have to drop it. I think Gunther's definitely going to be in a singles match.
Yeah.
True. And so it's just like there's so many prospects. Like it's just like what can you do? So much that you could do. And like, if it's not Bianca, and Rhea, there's the talks. It's probably Bianca and Charlotte. It's probably Bianca and Charlotte, or even a Bianca and if Sasha comes back, which I don't know. I heard she's going to New Japan.
She is going to be at Wrestle Kingdom 17. Confirmed.
What is that?
When?
Yeah.
I think it's this month, end of this month or next month. It's pretty soon.
She's wrestling?
Yeah.
Nice. So there's just like, there's so many possibilities. And yet there's still like, you don't know what, you got people like Bray Wyatt still bouncing around. You don't know what they're going to do with him. You don't know what we're going to do with the Usos. You don't know what we're going to do with Sheamus. Like, there's, we don't know what we're going to do with AJ Styles, Seth Rollins. Oh, Bobby Lashley and Brock is probably going to get Bobby Lashley and Brock, and it's probably going to be a stipulations match. They've already had 2 singles matches, so this is probably going to be a stipulations match. Like, could you imagine those guys I'd love to see those guys in the last man standing.
That would be awesome. But that's the thing. It's like we're now at a point. I didn't actually get to my point there, but we're now at a point where we're not hoping to not get screwed over at WrestleMania. We're trying to figure out what we're not going to get. What's going to get left off? Like, what are these great potential matches that can't possibly be on the card that we'll have to save? It's a good spot to be as a fan.
Shake.
Yo.
You know what I think we're getting?
What?
Brock Lesnar, Bobby Lashley, Hell in a Cell.
I don't think Brock is going into Hell in a Cell at this point in his career.
Why not?
Because
he had a last man standing match.
That's a lot different than Hell in a Cell, and Brock didn't do shit, didn't take shit in that last man standing match, besides at the end. Roman got thrown around by a fucking tractor twice.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I'd love to see. I mean, look, we didn't get it at all this year. And Hunter says it's the end of a rivalry. I mean, what do you do with those 2 big behemoths? It's the end of their rivalry. What do you do with it? It's got to be something big.
I mean, I agree, but I think last man standing is more realistic than seeing Brock Lesnar in a Hell in a Cell at this stage in his career.
Money talks.
Money fucking talks, but he's making plenty of it, and he's over 45. Hey. Money talks and bullshit walks. And you know what I'm saying?
Hey, I'm going to keep it in there just in case.
It could. I just don't see it. But that's more to my point. It's like, what aren't we gonna see? And like, there's so many possibilities, so many amazing things, and we're really just getting started. We haven't even hit the Royal Rumble. We're still building to that. It's been crazy. It's only gonna get crazier.
How much you want to bet we get a Bad Bunny concert too?
Triple H just met with Bad Bunny this past week. Actually, they seemed like they were on a movie set, but no, they had lunch together. They had a meeting, and I think it's more likely than not Bad Bunny will be at WrestleMania 39.
Oh, he's definitely gonna. He'll definitely be there. If it's not a concert, like I said, I would love to see him and Logan Paul in a match. I don't think that's the direction he'll go though, because Logan's kind of like a step above, quite a big step above Bad Bunny. But
yeah, the story does write itself, but again, I mean, everybody's fucking taking shots at John Cena. Theory's taking shots at John Cena left and right. Logan Paul's taking shots at John Cena. John Cena may not even be there. So it's just, there's so many. We're talking about this like it's coming up in 2 months. We are like 5 months away.
Yeah, but that doesn't matter. The road to WrestleMania starts after the Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
So, I mean.
But so much can change.
Hey, Google. What is the elimination?
Uh-huh.
Yep. All right, that's enough. Google. Hey, Google. All right. February 18th. All right.
And then we got another 2 months to Mania. Wow.
That's some good storytelling.
Yes, it is. The plot only thickens from here on out. But we didn't really touch much on the indie show you went to. Do you want to talk about that at all?
It was just a good time. I mean, I told me and Zach. I said, "Man, this is better than Raw." It was a lot of fun. I seen Hornswoggle. I seen Max Caster. I seen Matt Cardona. I seen, what was the other guy who used to be with Matt Cardona?
I don't know.
Zack Ryder, and who was the other one? Who was the other Edgehead?
I couldn't tell you.
Yeah.
It doesn't.
We've seen Brodus Clay.
Nice.
He's a big dude.
Yeah, he's.
He came over to me, he shook my hand, and he goes, "After this, I'm going to the club." I mean, he said something like that. He goes, "I can't wait for this match to get over. I'm going to the party." He said something, but he walked over to me, shook my hand, and was just like, and like leaned over the rail and was talking to me. It was like, "Yeah, I'm after him. I'm getting out of here." I don't know what he said, but it was hilarious.
That was an invite. You should have been like, "All right, man, where are we going?"
Yeah, he's a very big guy, and it was really funny too. And then Alex Riley made a return.
Nice.
Yeah, Alex Riley looks like he took time off to become a dad, and then said, "I'm going to get back in the ring."
He said, "I'll give it a shot."
He looked like, you could tell he used to be jacked, but then he looked like he gained that dad weight back, like he put some dad weight over it.
Yeah.
And then his hair, he looked like a dad. He looked like a semi-in shape dad who put some jeans on and some elbow pads and said, "Let me go wrestle."
Well, that beat the indies, don't it?
Yeah, it was just so funny. I was like, "This is hilarious." So then the guys are in the ring, beating up Alex Riley, and then Brodus Clay's sitting on the apron, and he's like, "Don't tap out," like just like that. He's like, "Don't tap, don't tap, tag me in." Nope, don't tap, tag me in. Listen, I know it's been a while, but don't tap, tag me in. He was just like so straight face about it. It was hilarious. He looked like unentertained, and he was like, "Tag me in, just don't tap, tag me in."
That's great.
Like there was a guy named something Cardigan, and he came out in a cardigan. It was pretty funny. And the indie show was very funny. It was very, very funny. I seen Super Crazy.
Oh yeah. I did see Zach's picture with him.
It was hilarious. Some guy was speaking Spanish, and the crowd and yelling. And it was more like cheering on Super Crazy, and then Super Crazy goes, "Cállate, puto."
Oh no, not very nice.
And yeah, it was like, aren't you a baby face? He's like, I don't give a damn.
I don't care. Fuck it.
Yeah, it was hilarious. It was hilarious. No, I had a great time, and I do plan to go back to see another promotion run by Matt Cardona. It was a really good promotion. It was a great fundraiser. So entry to the show, and you got a picture with Matt Cardona and whoever else for free, and you got a free DVD from one of their last pay-per-views. And it was on everybody's seat, and the only cost of the entry was 2 toys. You had to donate 2 WWE toys. It was a toy
Nice.
drive.
That's pretty cool. I
Yeah.
like that.
Well,
I
not
did
WWE
see.
toys. You had to donate 2 wrestling toys. Let me be correct. You had to donate 2 wrestling toys. Um, and so yeah, it was nice. So your ticket cost about $20 because the wrestling toys these days are about $10.
Yeah.
And so and then I guess if you donated 10, you got like a um, some type of a poster of the event, and it was autographed by everybody and something like that.
That's pretty
It
cool.
was Yeah, it was nice. It was a really nice thing. And then I know Matt Cardona came out and was like, "And you guys fell for it again." He goes, "I'm already a rich guy, but I'm about to be a hell of a lot richer when I sell all these toys on eBay." He's like, he goes, "This is the fifth time we've done this, and you fell for it again, you dumbasses."
Gotta love
So
that heel stuff. No,
yeah,
it was a great week in wrestling. It's only gonna pick up from here. We appreciate you guys hanging out so much every week like you do. Again, if you're watching on Twitch back, make sure you hit that follow button. If you're watching on YouTube, like and subscribe, all that good stuff. But until next week, this is the Hot Tag Podcast signing off. We'll catch y'all later. Peace.
peace. Laid back show.